welcome everybody. This is our series on estate planning, and we've got Simone Hargreaves here from the Estate Planning Centre, very well versed and an expert in the area. Hi Simone, how are you going?
Hi Simon, good thanks. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about powers of attorney or enduring powers of attorney. So can we start, I guess, by you telling our viewers, what are they?
Yeah, sure. So a power of attorney is a legal financial decision maker, so that in the event you can't make legal financial decisions for yourself, you've got people you trust in place to make those sorts of decisions for you. So everything from the ability to transact land if that should be needed on your behalf, accessing bank accounts, to dealing with Medicare, Centrelink, and so on.
Okay, pretty important document.
Yeah.
So I guess that sort of answers the second question already with some of those examples about why you would need it. But it sounds like it's pretty much the keys to a lot of people's financial world and governance world and, government departments. Is that sort of fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Without it, we are looking at an urgent application to the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Tribunal for financial management orders. If someone's lost capacity and they need us to transact land, to access accounts on their behalf, really, even if we've been married for decades, we don't have that sort of authority to do that on one another's behalf. And I say NCAT, we're based in New South Wales. We do assist clients all around Australia, but the relevant and supporting administrative tribunal in jurisdiction, they need to make those orders if we haven't gone ahead and preemptively put those sorts of documents in place. And look, you can choose when they come into effect. They don't only have to come into effect if you've lost legal financial capacity. So unlike your medical lifestyle decision maker, your enduring guardian sort of document, where that only comes into effect if you've lost capacity, your legal financial document, your power of attorney, can come into effect at any time. So you can actually, say in all jurisdictions when you want it to come into effect. I'd actually like it to come into effect from today, from the time of signing. And then you've got someone who's a carbon copy of yourself who can make those sorts of decisions on your behalf. And that can be really helpful if you're traveling, if you're laid up for a few days. I've heard of all sorts of stories where people have been stuck overseas and there's property transactions going on back here. It's really important we have our legal financial decision making taken care of, that we've preemptively taken agency. So we've got people we trust in place ready to go if the need arises.
Yeah, and I think you've hit the nail on the head with a couple of things there. Certainly some of the scenarios we've seen in our business with our clients and past stories, one of the responses we get is, but I'm not old, I don't have to worry about that stuff. And then when you dig a bit deeper, and some of the things that you've just talked about, it's nothing to do with age and losing capacity. It's about somebody being able to help you out for whatever reason that you're not available to make those financial decisions. As you said, a great example being overseas, and we've seen that with clients having people transact on their behalf when they're downsizing or those kind of things. So I think at any age, from what we've seen, and I stand to be corrected, but it's a pretty important document. So yeah, that's some really good points. And any horror stories or good news stories would you like to sort of cherry pick that you've seen for our viewers you want to mention?
Yeah, I have to be careful. I'm always cognizant of confidentiality when I'm sharing these stories. But yeah, one story in particular experience really sticks in my mind. There was a couple, and a member of the couple had lost capacity and hadn't put in place a power of attorney at the time. During their lifetime when they had capacity as an adult. They were very property rich and had very little cash and really needed some property to be transacted quite quickly to enable medical care for the spouse who had lost capacity. And that looked like an application to NCAT in really stressful circumstances. They were advising lawyers with regards to the property transaction itself. There was no funds available to be getting legal advice as well. They really were cash strapped, had left it to the 11th hour, and no ability for him to sign off, for the spouse, the gentleman in the relationship, to sign off on anything. That ship had well and truly sailed. He did not have capacity at all. And that was really stressful for the family. And it's just such a thing when you see that occur, because it really is such a simple document that would have avoided a lot of stress for the family at the time.
Yeah, no, that's it's a sad story, but again, too often told, I think. Again, we've seen similar things that the expression, you can lead a horse to water but you can't make it drink, and as professionals we have a duty of care to put these checklists, so to speak, in front of our clients, but they don't always, they know they need to do it, but it's like eating your veggies when you're a kid, I guess, or in some cases an adult too, right? Doing the stuff that's good for you, because the impact of not it can be devastating, and it's, as you say, it's the stress and the pressure on the family when it already is a tough time, and the financial impacts. Again, we see the blowback from that, and it's a mad rush to sell assets, or all those delays that you say, and particularly if, in the case of something sensitive to market movements like a share portfolio, that it potentially is a funding source, and it's taking months to get approval. And on that note, with the NCATs or similar in other states, is there a typical time frame? Like, tell us a little bit about the good and the bad of that process.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, there are so many people who don't get this done. I mean, the data we have is 50% of Australians have a will. So I don't have the data on powers of attorney. I can only imagine it's south of that.
Yeah.
The process. It's not, an urgent hearing it doesn't go through as urgently as one would like. There's waiting periods. The documentation to evidence that you should be appointed as the financial manager, it's always at risk that people that you love presumably would step up in that situation and try and demonstrate to the tribunal that they ought to be appointed. But to do so, they're really needing to provide documented evidence. I'm an appropriate person for these reasons. Perhaps I've looked after them for this amount of time, and here's the evidence for that. But every time we go before those tribunals, we are running the risk of the tribunal appointing a government body as well to manage our legal and financial decision making, which most of the time when I'm speaking with clients would not be their desired fallback. We're far better off taking agency. It's just a piece of paper and it can just be used. The person is literally your financial legal carbon copy, and you can just get about looking after you, making good decisions for you so that your interests are taken care of in a timely fashion.
Yeah, no, great points, and I think that it's a good analogy. The carbon copy, that's it's the mini me or whatever it is that is taking care of those things if I can't, and it's the event doesn't have to be a health turn necessarily, right? It's just there's so many things where it could be applicable, and that's where we try to explain that to our clients as well as part of a broader estate plan if it's done sort of best practice, as you agree. But yeah, again, the financial delays and the stress, it's one of those things. It's an easy and quick win to make that effort for the massively leveraged benefit of, as you say, having agency, having control, not relying on a third party, bureaucrat, with all due respect to the process, to make that decision, which the majority of the time, as you see in the in the system, wouldn't be the what the client would have wanted in the first place. So takeaway is everybody get organised and get these documents in place. And on that note, if I'll just bring up your website if people want to get in touch with you. While I'm doing that, if you had any final comments, let me know. Otherwise, for our viewers, is that refreshed, Simone, on your website?
It has. Yep. Yeah. Thanks.
So there's your website. Lots of great resources there for our viewers. Top right-hand side, book a free consultation, or the phone number's at the top there as well for the team, Simone and the team. If anybody needs to get in touch with us, you've probably seen this before, but that's our website there. Book a free call. And Simone, thank you again for a very insightful chat. Look forward to the next instalment in our session.
Thanks, Simon.